Alright, here's a quick AllyCAD video. You go to AllyCAD 3.1, double click, you open up the program, you click OK, and you get a full picture here. I'm slightly going to make this smaller because that is in my way, so I'm going to just do this and just drag it down like that so that you can see all the functions. So yeah, I'm just going to move it like that there. So this is where I'm going to work. I'm going to start the geometry. I'm going to do a cross to create the starting point. So that's where I'm going to put my cross. I already have this straight line up, so I don't need this line, but I'm going to use my cross as my starting point. So I'm going to use, I like working with this snap cursor. So now I go to geometry, slope line, I click on there and I say 30 degrees. I click yes, it goes 30 degrees that way. I click back on the same starter point there and I say negative 30 degrees, click yes, and the negative will give me the other side. Okay, so that's negative, that's positive. Okay, and now I'm going to draw simply the box. I do have a height of that's 30, 40. So what I'm going to do is that instead of marking on 40, here I'm going to draw a parallel line here 40 and a parallel line there for 40. So I'm going to go there, parallel, say yes, because it's going to ask me, and then you click next to this line there and it's going to ask you for a total and you're going to say it is 40 the height. You click yes on 40 and it gives you that height of 40, and then you go to this side here, you click next to the line, the 40 still remains, you click yes, and then you have your 40 that side. So now you're going to mark off the length. The length this side of my A is going to be 60 plus 30, which is 90. So I'm going to click to this line on this side there. It's going to ask, the 40 will be there, but I'm going to change it to 90. And I'm going to click yes, and there it cuts off my 90, and I'm going to go to my width and I click on this side of this line here. It's going to ask me, the 90 will still be there, but I need the width, which is 20 plus 20 plus 20. It is 60. Type in 60 and I say yes, and there's my one side of my box. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just put in that line and that line reverse. So I'm going to go back to geometry. I'm going to say parallel lines. I'm going to say no this time, and then I'm going to click next to that line there and click on there to create the parallel line away, and I'm going to click next to this line over here there, and I'm going to click on this point here, which gives me the box. So let me just put the box in a sort of shape. Yeah, there's the box in the shape, there's the box front side, and there's the top. Let me put the box for you in some sort of a clear vision. So I'm going to just draw that over there. So this is my box that I'm looking at. Right, and then I'm going to show you how to manipulate the box to the shape, required shape that I want. Is my box. So I'm going to start with this side here. Okay, if the lines become too much on the page for you, then you just go to geometry, you say delete all geometry lines, and boom, they're gone. You will see it's slightly dashed here, then press S for refresh and you will get a box there. Now I'm going to put in this side here, and I'm going to go to geometry, parallel. I'm going to have here, I'm going to say yes first because I want the values, specific values. I'm going to, next to this line here, I'm going to say 30. Right, here's my 30, so that's my 30 section, and I'm only working on this side here. And I know my circle has, the circle fits into the 60 part from here to here, so I've got a 10, a 40, and a 10. So I'm going to click next to this line here, because there's going to be a 10. I'm going to type in 10, like that, and then my 40 of my circle will be next to, click next to the line, and I'm going to type in 40 for my circle size, and then my 10 remains here. Right, those are the different divisions, and then I'm going to work my heights. So I'm going to click next to this line here, this line here, there, and I'm going to click 10. The 10 is punched in, and click there, and then at the bottom I'm going to click next to this line there, and the 10 is still there, and I click. So there I've got my box, and I'm just going to put that in very quickly. So my box is going to be there, there, and there, there, and there. So that's my box. Okay. This is also going to be a step down from here. There's going to be a step like that down here, so there, and to the front. Right. There is that one side. Now I'm going to take my lines across like that. So I'm going to go geometry, parallel lines. This time I'm going to say no, because I want this parallel line going across. So I'm going to click next to that line there, and I'm just going to click here to take my line across there, and I'm going to click next to this line over here, because I want it parallel to that line, this corner over there. There we go. Right, and then at that corner I want this line to go down like that, so I'm going to click next to this line and click there, so it goes down. And then I want this corner to go like that, so I'm going to click next to any one of the lines that will go in that direction. So I'm going to click next to this line here, and I click in that corner, boom, there we go, and there we go down. And then I want a corner to go to my front this way, so I'm going to click next to this line over here, which is that line, and then I'm going to click in this space here, and there it goes to the front. I want that corner and that corner to connect, so I'm going to click next to a line here, and then boom, I click and it meets there. Just to show you what I have done is that I've taken this across like that there, brought it down like that there, taken it to my front and across like that. So this section is now gone. So maybe I should actually remove it. When I remove it, I go to modify, cut and rub. I say I wanted to cut and rub in two places, which two places, one place is yes, two places is no. I'm going to say no, I wanted two places. I'm going to take this line away, so I click on this line and I say that's where I'm going to cut it, that's gone now. And then this one here, I want that line gone, click there, and I'm going to click there, gone. The same thing here, click there, there, and there, gone. Right now I need this line to be removed, so I'm going to say cut and rub again, but now cut and rub, and I say now this time yes, because I just want one spot, so I'm on that line gone, and say that line must be gone, this line gone, and that line must be gone. Okay, and then just to refresh, and I see it's jumping back, so we're going to go, let's do it again, click there, and I want that line gone. Okay, now space bar, and you say you don't want any more lines cut, so you say no, and then you go to your line function here, and I'm just going to go back to my cursor there, and I just throw in that point over there for the moment. Or just before I do that, let me rather just leave that out for the moment. Now I'm going to put in my slants. You know what I did with my slants in my previous exercise. I must block off 20-20 here and 20-20 there. If there are too many of these grid lines on here, once again click geometry, delete, and you say yes, and refresh with the S. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, you know that there's going to be a corner, but don't worry about that, we're going to put it in a moment. So I'm now going to say I want 20s here, so I'm going to go parallel, yes, and I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to measure off, say 20s here. Click next to that line, and I'm going to say 20, click yes, and another 20, yes. There I've got those corners here. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Click next to that line, the 20 is still remaining. Here's my 20. Click again, here's my 20. Now you've got to keep track I'm going to take my line, and that's my first 20 there, so that 20 connects with that 20 there, and that 20 there connects with that 20 over there. You just got to keep track. And I'm going to remove my lines because I don't want too many lines on here. Click and refresh with S. Now parallel lines, again I'm going to say no this time because I want a corner here, so I'm going to click next to that line, boom, there I created a corner. I want the line going like that, so I'm going to create that side of this line, and I'm going to click in that corner and then create. And then I want this thing to go to the front like that, so I can use like this line here. So next to that line I'm going to click, and there it goes. So I've got that in there. Let me put it in for you. So here we go, there, down till there, and to my front, back, and I'm just going over it, and boom. Right, that's what I have there. I want to take my lines away, delete, yes, and refresh. Now I'm going to put in my circle here. So what I need to do is that 60 and that 60, so I'm going to create 30s and 30s. So parallel lines again, parallel lines, I say yes, because I want to measure. Click next to that line, I'm going to punch in 30, click, and I want a cross, so I'm going to enter next to this line here, and I'm going to click again for my cross there. There's my cross. Now I'm going to do my box. My circle is 40, so I'm going to go 20 that side, 20, 20, 20. So parallel to that line there, punch in 20. I say yes, and this side 20, yes, and then I'm going to move it to this side of my line, 20, yes, and then that side of my line, 20, yes, and there I've got my box. Let me put in that box for you so that we can see. There we go. So this is my box. What I don't need I can remove later on. Right, that's my construction of my box. Just before I'm just going to undo that. Just go over it again. There's my box. Right, so my box will have a cross. My box will have a cross like that. But when you're in the computer program, you actually don't need to put in all the steps that we normally do when we draw with drawing equipment, because you just need an oval that will touch in that space here, so you don't have to draw the V and the crossing there. It's not necessary for that. All you have to do is you can go to a modify, and you can go to draw, and you can go to ellipse. There's an ellipse. Click on ellipse, and you basically just click in the middle there, and it will ask you for an ellipse, and you will type in the radius of that ellipse would be 20, and you say yes. Now there's an ellipse. Deactivate the function, click on the ellipse, and all you do is you drag it to that corner there, drag it to that corner there, so that it touches the circumference, and then drag it so that it basically just fits in there, like that. Okay, and there it is. And then obviously what you can do is deactivate first, and then you can just take this box away. You don't need that box now. All that you can take away, because the ellipse would be there. Right, even that crossing you can take away. It becomes a center line eventually. And then learners, you have to drop that down. So yes, I just want to take that away as well. So you have to drop it by 10. So what you can do, instead of going back to ellipse, you click on the ellipse. First make sure that you deactivate. You click on the ellipse, and then you go to edit and you say copy, and you say again paste, and anywhere you paste it there's the ellipse, and then all you do is you drag it. And what you can do is that if you need to put it 10 millimeters down, so I've already got my 10 there. If you don't have your 10, you must just make sure that you have, so there's going to be my 10, which is going to be my thickness of that thickness. There is my 10. So you've got to just measure your 10. If you don't have your 10, I've got my 10 already. And then all you do is you go to cut, modify, cut and rub again. You say no, you want it 2 places. You click here, you click there, and you click there. See if it's going to come out, and refresh. You're going to say no. Okay, it's not working. Let's try again. So you're going to go back and cut and rub, and you say no, and you click on this point here, you click there, and you click there, and hopefully it will be gone. No, it's not actually. Let's try again. Let's just undo. So you click on this little space here. Let's go to cut and rub again, and you say yes, click here, and there it should be gone. And refresh, still not gone. Let's try again. Seems like the program is not working with us today. Cut and rub. You're going to say yes because you only want that part gone from that point over there. Let's select the line and then cut it on that point there. Oops, it's really messing up now. Let's undo. Undo, 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 undo. If you have problems like that, what I can advise though is you click on here, remove that. If that function doesn't work, you can go to the arc function and click on the arc, click there and click there, and you're going to put in that little section there. So you can maneuver it so that it runs through the 10. So just click there, right, and click there, and you can even move it if you want to, wherever you want it to be. So if you want to measure your 10, so you can do that as well. So it's multifunctional if you can't. And then of course you need this corner and that corner down. So the last part, parallel lines, you're going to say no, because you want a, I'm going to use this cursor, you want a parallel line. Let me first clean up a bit. So yes, clean up a bit. Refresh, yes. Parallel lines, yep. You say no, you want it that way, so I'm going to just click there and click there, it goes that way. I'm going to click there and click here so that it goes that way. Click there, it takes you across, and then I want it down, so I'm going to click this side here of the line, and I form a parallel line there. So there we go, right around, that comes down, and then you are going to have a line this way, which is going to be click on that side of the line and just there, in line with that. Can you see there? So all that's going to happen now, and I'm going to M for magnifier, where I'm going to just take my line from here to there, and continues from there to there, and there will be a corner that I will have to take up just till there, and a corner that comes from there till there. Right. Like for example, you can extend this line wherever it must touch here. Multifunctional. Okay, and D magnifier, there you have it. D for demagnifier, M for magnifier, and there you have your drawing, CAD drawing. So play around with it and see whether you can manage to complete it like that. See, there's a little line here that I want to put in. Just lastly, parallel lines, say no, and I'm just clicking here and clicking there, and then I'm just going to put in that magnifier. Great stuff. Enjoy. This is your reward if you have completed all your work.